Welcome everybody to the 2022 Overwatch Olympics, the first Olympics event hosted on this channel, hopefully the first of many. Joined with you today are your hosts Will and Rob, and it's looking to be an eventful series of events here today.
Very eventful indeed. 5 game mode events today, each earning points for their respective countries, with an overall leaderboard of points, determining the medals for these countries, with the gold medalist winning a 5-day trip to Chernobyl. The countries competing in the Olympics this year are each represented by one player. Familiar faces for those who tune into the 1v1 series, now representing 4 countries around the world today. So let's introduce those faces behind the countries.
Representing the United Kingdom, our very own English player, Dragon in Hat. Representing Team Japan today, Lilac, who is very fond of Japan. Representing the Spanish team today, Clowner, who is a quarter Spanish. And representing Brazil, GETDAZZLED, who has nothing to do with Brazil, other than having a friend from Brazil. We've made it easy for you to be able to recognise these players when in game by associating the skins and HUD colours with their representative countries. We're going to keep you waiting no further, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Rob, to introduce the events making up the Olympics this year.
This year's Overwatch Olympics is going to be broken down into 5 events. In each event, each player will be battling it out to earn the most points possible. A first place in any of these events will grant you 3 points, a second place will grant you 2 points, a third place will grant you 1 point, and last but not least, well, technically least, will leave your pockets empty. The first event will be Ashe Sumo, taking place on Workshop Island. The premise of this game is to knock the other players off the edge of the island with increased knockback from her coach gun, whilst also using it to prevent yourself from falling off the edge. It's a deathmatch game mode, and every kill grants you 1 point. First to 10 points claims the victory for the round. The second event is Clay Mercy Shooting. This round is booted up on an aim trainer game mode, and is a time-based game. The premise of this round? Clear all 6 mercies as fast as possible, using Widowmaker's scoped fire. The timer begins the moment you start scoping in. And to make it even harder, for each mercy you kill, they are replaced with a random hero. The timer only ends when the player has cleared all 6 mercies, and the fastest time takes the gold for this round. The third event taking place is the Hammond Bumper Car Round, also taking place on Workshop Island. The premise of this game works very similar to Ashe Sumo. You must use your boost to ram people off the edge of the map. The boost goes on cooldown after use, and so you must pick the perfect time to engage on someone, whilst also keeping yourself alive. This one can get pretty hectic with more players, so that ought to be a pretty chaotic round to watch. It will be first to 15 to take this round home for the country. Round 4's event will be a fan favourite, Genji Dodgeball. The objective of this game is to use your deflect to return the oncoming dodgeballs to another player. The ball goes to the player you're closest to looking at, and can be greatly arced and manipulated depending on what direction you look in. You are free to move around as much as you want to, get as close to the other players as you want to, and even use the bounce pads located around the map. The round only ends when there is 1 player remaining and the last man standing gets the point for the round. This event will be first to 5 for the victory. And the final event for this year's Overwatch Olympics. What would an Olympics be without a track and field? Lucio Racing takes the spot for round 5 for the 2022 Overwatch Olympics. The objective of this game is simple. You have a start location, you have an end location, and on some occasions a checkpoint, but I'll get to those in a second. The objective of this round is to get from your start location to the end location as quickly as possible. However these players choose to go is completely up to them, using whatever wall rides or techs they wish to. There are 2 types of races we'll be seeing today, a sprint and a circuit race. A sprint race requires you to get from a start location to the end location, and that's all. The circuit race requires you to get from your start location to the checkpoint and then back to your start location as quickly as possible. This year's Lucio Racing event is broken down into 3 different races, but it is important to note that the points will be distributed at the conclusion of the 3 races for the overall points they accumulate throughout the races. What this means is after winning all 3 rounds of the Lucio Racing, you will be given points depending on your overall finishing position, not the amount of points you earned. So first place over all 3 races will still earn 3 points. That concludes the event summary for this year's eventful Olympics lineup. Now let's head into the inaugural event of the 2022 Overwatch Olympics, Ashe Sumo.
Let's see what sort of play style we're going to be seeing from these teams as the game is going to begin momentarily here. Team UK right off the bat in a bit of a chuff, but is able to recover smoothly. Spain looking patient here, trying to close in on these players and finding a big coach gun catching 2. Unless that kill credit is stolen here. That's the first, and then the second onto Lilac of Team Japan.
Strong opener from Spain here, looking for a third on to GETDAZZLED. Not quite able to get him all the way off the edge there, but Lilac coming in for the cleanup. Team UK juggling around in the air with Brazil closing in, and looks like they've found the finishing kill onto Japan. Not quite. The recovery, but sent off the edge of the map once again by GETDAZZLED of Brazil.
United Kingdom looking vengeful here for Spain. We're looking for that player closest to the edge, but unable to watch her behind, and is going to get shunted over that edge. The recovery simply not enough, securing the second point for Japan. A little battle by itself taking place between Brazil and Spain, with Clowner getting 1-2 comboed over the water. The coach gun recovery is there, but unable to keep him safe from Brazil for very long.
Brazil and Japan tied for second now. Looking to break that tiebreaker here as the teams are not paying any attention to Lilac. And Team Spain sent flying over the edge again, but not before bringing GETDAZZLED down with him. Sent up by Team UK, but sneaking behind the newly spawned. Able to launch them, but not quite far enough. Putting themselves dangerously close to the edge now. Almost caught up by the hand of the UK, but should be able to recover smoothly from this one. The teams closing in on her now, but GETDAZZLED bites the bullet from Clowner there. And he's even able to recover! Wow!
What a remarkable recovery from Brazil there. But now breaking that alliance between Japan, who uses a recovery coach gun to keep themselves stable. A lot of these teams keep going back to that middle spot of the map, as it's making recovery a lot easier for them if they do find themselves in a sticky situation. Lilac on the edge, going to be capitalised on by Clowner. Only 5 more points needed for Team Spain.
Lilac spawning back in with responsive aggression for Clowner here, but clutching that recover back up to the edge.
Lilac continuing the aggression onto Clowner, but yet to secure that kill. The UK, my goodness, finding a big coach gun on 2 of the teams. Not finding the kills, but gave them some serious air. The jump scare dividing the teams in 2. Quick reflexes from Lilac there, but unfortunately missing that coach gun the second time round. Vulnerable now to the hands of Brazil, but with coach gun on cooldown, coming up too late gives Japan that window of safety.
Switching over to whatever the hell we're seeing from Team UK here. Clowner not close enough to the edge for that kill, but creating space with the coach gun. Falling close to death for Brazil here, but not quite over the edge she goes.
This has manifested into some melee battle now. Not sure what we're seeing here. The coach gun has become the secondary form of damage. Clowner close to the edge, closing in now on Brazil and Japan, but Dragon once again! The huge coach gun finding 2 players and 1 secured kill onto Brazil. Closing in on Brazil once again. And launched off once again by Team UK! Coach gun on cooldown, coming up too late, and the points are beginning to come in for the UK.
Team Spain in the meantime, securing a kill on Japan now. Spawning back in, but poor Team Brazil! GETDAZZLED going off the edge once again!
Stick up for my crew.
It's an ouchie start for Brazil. Not really playing to their strengths here, it seems. Not finding the ground that they need to.
It is not a bright start for Team Brazil. Still getting juggled in the air by Lilac, getting him dangerously close to the edge, but Japan coming very close to the edge too. Brazil closing in. They're grouped up and it's a fatty for Brazil! Fighting 2, but dragging it out. Wow! Able to take that kill credit for the boop onto Clowner. An extra point for Team UK. UK closing back in onto Brazil. And it doesn't look like there's a recovery from that one. Too close to the edge for GETDAZZLED. We get a glimpse of a sly little boop onto Spain there. GETDAZZLED finding a juicer from spawn, but only enough to secure the kill on Japan. Team UK recovering, but using the coach gun. No defense available to save them from this one here. Only 2 points needed for Spain now.
Japan! It's looking like another for Team Spain here. Japan using the coach gun with no defense. That might just be it. The UK tumbling over the edge, but the kill credit stolen by Brazil. Japan getting their revenge. Looking for revenge on Japan, but whiffs it and is sent flying by UK. Brazil ready for the juggling act and is going to follow up nicely onto that kill onto Spain. GETDAZZLED now entering the stratosphere as that kill credit is going to finally roll through. Time Brazil and Japan for second place now with the UK sitting on 4.
It's another juicer from Brazil, but not enough to grant any kills. Wrapping back around and getting pushed away by Dragon. Japan sent up into the air, comboed by GETDAZZLED, and it's Japan's turn to be sent around the globe. Brazil ready for the follow-up kill, and Japan's coach gun coming in too late, granting Brazil the kill. The kill for Brazil now putting them into second place, but not for long. Japan responding with a return kill onto Brazil. But Team Spain, the boop over the edge without any recovery. And it's a victory for Spain. Lilac wrapping it up at the end there with that kill onto GETDAZZLED, equalising their scores. Then being the final kill for Clowner of Team Spain, giving them the win for this first round. Spain at 3 points, Japan and Brazil tied for second with 2 points, and Team UK sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard after this first game.
What a fantastic build-up for the rest of the events today. Quite a gap between Spain and second place throughout most of this match. Let's see if they're able to hold this performance heading into the second round now. These players are going to be shooting once at a time, starting with the leader of the last round and working our way down. Let's see what sort of time Spain is able to clear these clay mercies in. The spray onto the floor indicating he's ready, and away we go. The timer begins from the moment these players begin scoping in, and that's a headshot for Clowner already. A second one following shortly after. The body shots aren't ideal in this one, as they will slowly gain their health back over time, but the third headshot comes in from Clowner. The area getting a little congested now. Not finding the shots he's looking for, but that's a headshot on the fourth.
Magnifique.
2 more mercies to go. He's able to find the body shot to finish off that penultimate mercy, and he's got to search through the clutter to find that last one. Hiding in plain sight. The body shot comes in, and the second one to finish her off. A good pace performance from Team Spain here, at 45.366. Let's see how our next competitor holds up.
Team Japan is up now to shoot some mercies. Let's see how fast she is able to clear the board for her team. Away we're off. Going for the more stable approach here, waiting for the mercy to line up with her crosshair. Finding these body shots, but not quite finding the final blows. The body shot's still being hit here, but she's not finding enough body shots on the same mercy for it to be significant. The first kill coming in for Japan now, heading into 40 seconds. The second following shortly after. A headshot final blow. That's half the mercy's gone. Looking a little more active with her crosshair now, as more and more of them are being replaced with different heroes. She finds a headshot onto the fourth. 2 remaining. That's the fifth.
Parfait.
And a body shot onto the last mercy. And the finishing shot comes through. A 121.166 for Japan. Had a bit of a slow start from Lilac there, but she definitely picked up the pace as we got further into her run. On to competitor number 3.
Let's see how GETDAZZLED of the Brazilian team is able to compare to these 2 times. Mentally preparing himself here. And the spray signalling is ready to go. The timer has begun. Only finding body shots for his team so far, yet to see a final blow. And we have our first mercy down. The second following shortly after, and that's the third.
I think it's time for us to see other people.
The body shots coming through again will be capitalised on for that damage. And that's the fourth. The fifth following soon after, and this could be our fastest run yet. The body shot landed on the final mercy for Team Brazil. The second body shot now, the mercy on very low HP as the timer is trickling ever so close to that of Spain. He finds the shot, but it's just above the time of the Spanish team. Less than a fifth of a second between these 2 teams. A very admirable performance from GETDAZZLED, whose efforts do not go unseen. Let's see how Team UK is able to compete with these other times.
Let's see if Team UK is able to put any points to the name on the leaderboards after this round here. The spray comes out and away we go. The timer has begun. The first shot connects at 8 seconds. She's able to follow up with a second body shot on the same mercy. That's 1 down for Dragon Hat. She She's landing these body shots onto Mercy's, but not the same one, so they're all regenerating their health back. But one Mercy falling very low, might be looking to secure the second kill onto her. The body shot and the quick charge headshot to secure the second. The headshot onto the third. Half the Mercy's down. Finding that fourth elimination with the 2 body shots. Looking a little lost, the Mercy's surrounded by unfamiliar faces now as only 2 remain. Both Mercies receiving shots, sitting around half HP, but are slowly regenerating their health. Oh god, Dragon has fallen off the platform! But the show must go on, landing that half charged headshot, claiming the 5th elimination. Just one more now need to secure the round. And with 2 body shots, she is able to round up this game with a 1:16.033, beating Japan by just over 5 seconds, giving UK a point for this round. The current standings: Team Spain with their 2 victories, sitting at the top with 6 points. Team Brazil also maintaining their second place position with 4 points on the board. Team Japan breaking that tie, dropping down to 3rd place after staying at 2 points. And Team UK now with a point on the board, but still sitting in last place for now. These are the current standings before heading into the 3rd event, the Hammond Bumper Car round. The premise of this round is similar to the Ashe one. Knock each other off and stay on to earn as many points as you can as fast as possible. This one's going to begin right away as we head into it. I'm going to hand this one on over to you, Will.
Oh yes, gotta handle this one good old-fashioned auctioneer style.
Alright. Round's going to be starting right away here. Brazil pushing Spain. The retaliation. Brazil heading overboard and Spain falling slowly overboard too. Spawning back in, able to snag a kill on Clowner. Team Spain unhappy. Spawning in but rebounded straight off. Brazil up by 2 from second. The UK yet to score a point, but the UK now finding Japan. Japan spawning back in and somehow finding credit for these kills here, being the last one who made contact with Spain and UK. Brazil and Japan now both shunting each other, trading the points. Japan and Brazil each with 4 points. The UK and Spain with just 1, but that score tally is changing every moment I speak. Snagging a kill onto a current leader, and this really is bumper cars we're watching now. What's that Pokemon? Kling Clang, that's the one. Open back around now through the clutter of the bumper Hammonds to once again find Team Spain over the edge of the map, and that's quite large. Everybody overboard. Get Dazzled, spawning back in and finding Lilac once again. Team Brazil hunting for these kills now in first place, finding Clowner. Now in the midst of the battle here, the Dragon and Hat rebound is going to pay off for Brazil, and oh my, that's Clowner once again. That's Team Japan shunting off over the edge by Team Spain, tied in second place with Japan. Spawning back in, but straight over she goes. The Clowner with the unfortunate spawn there, the ruthless bumper of Japan ain't going to allow for any mercy. That's Team Spain now, the double kill, now in second, but Lilac finding Get Dazzled and is back up to time for it now. Once again, Lilac getting dazzly with it. That's UK finding Spain, and Brazil finding UK. Brazil with only 4 kills to get, and Team Spain shooting over that edge like a Ford Bronco in the fast lane. I'd say maybe just over 35 miles an hour, that's all. Dragon and Hat once again finding Clowner, Team Spain, and Brazil right after. Japan holding Brazil, and Spain finding Japan right after. That's another kill for Team Spain there onto Brazil, but UK won't have it anymore. Quite the cluster of cards here in the middle. It's only a moment before one of these fly off. UK in flames. Brazil finding UK, but Spain and Brazil finding each other, and it's only 1 left for Brazil now. That's Dragon's kill onto Spain. The UK finding huge value here. A double on Brazil and Japan right after she found Spain. And it's a little bit of a stalemate here now, folks. The progress of the game halted as the pace slowed down from these players. The fatigue kicking in. As Team Japan now securing a kill onto Spain, now at 9 points here, closing in on the players, and it's absolute carnage. UK killing Japan, but Japan finding Spain and UK. UK looks hungry and finds that revenge kill onto Japan. Time with Get Dazzled of Brazil now in first place. Both players needs only 1 point to take on the 2022 Olympic bumper cars. Get Dazzled pushing up fast, and it is one heck of a close round there, but Team Brazil is the one that's coming out on top in the end. My oh my, am I out of breath.
You can take a drink of water, Will, and catch your breath. Get Dazzled proudly getting the first win for Team Brazil today, but not by much at all. Team UK making some ground for themselves there, finishing only 1 point behind Brazil. The current leaderboards after this round put Team Brazil up to first place with 7 points. Team Spain dropping from first to second after not finding a single point on that round. And Team UK now able to tie for third with Japan after gaining 2 points in this round. And Japan gaining 1 for a third place finish. Now onto the 4th event of the 2022 Overwatch Olympics, Genji Dodgeball. 5 seconds until the start of the match, then the ball will be going to a random player. Japan it is, Clowner playing close to Lilac and is going to return the ball with haste to start this round off. Do remember that a point is only given to the player that wins the round, not for every elimination you get. Clowner trying to play very close to GETDAZZLED here, but he isn't paying any attention to him. Continuing the rally with Team UK, and Spain was not ready for that one at all. It's a head-to-head now between Team Brazil and UK. Dragon using the bounce pad, but it's an ill-timed jump, giving Brazil an easy first heat win here. The first of 5. Some very quick, cheeky stuff out here from Spain and Brazil. Very sly. Let's see if we're going to get any more of that heading into Heat 2.
Team Brazil, starting with ball control after winning that previous round. The first serve. An interesting tactic, dragging it along the island edge. But Japan responding without hesitation. A quick pass from Spain to GETDAZZLED there, unable to keep up with the ball, and it's going to be knocked out of this first round. Lilac of Team Japan waiting patiently in the corner here for the ball to be rallied her way. The curveball to the UK team. Returned. The rally ending abruptly with a head-to-head now. Spain and Japan. Japan dashing up for a high shot but doesn't react in time, unfortunately. The point going to Team Spain for Heat 2, tying first with Brazil. The ball possession beginning with Spain. A high ball to Dragon and Hat, followed by a wide. The deflect pulled early from Team UK and is knocked out of the heat.
An unfortunate misplay from Dragon there. And it's the same story for Team Japan for this heat here. The head-to-head. GETDAZZLED with ball possession losing control. Looking like he accidentally entered that bounce pad and lost sight of the ball. The round for mistakes as it closes out with a second heat win for Spain. 3 points away from winning the dodgeball event. We're spectating the Brazilian team player here, with Team Spain after winning the previous round started with ball control. Lilac losing control but hits the ball to GETDAZZLED. Rallied from Dragon back to Dazzled and Lilac, unable to react in time.
Bonus style points for Lilac there. That was an awesome display. Clowner taking a play from GETDAZZLED's book, the bonky ball play around the edge of the map. And it's looking like a triangular rally we're seeing here. The players trying their luck with the mind games.
I am ready.
And all Dragon gets caught out. It's once again Brazil v Spain in the final round now. With Spain throwing some very curved balls trying to catch Brazil off guard, but met with some responsive tricky shots from GETDAZZLED. The rally continuing with these wide shots as ball speed begins to increase now. 60 meters per second. Now up to 70. That's 80 meters per second with GETDAZZLED throwing a wide, but Clowner hitting it behind. GETDAZZLED returning that ball at a speed of 91 meters per second. That is unbelievable. What a rally from those two teams.
You could just see the velocity of the ball increasing each time they hit it back, and not one of them faltering up until right at the very end there. The ball too fast for Clowner to react in time. The score now equalising for the top two teams, UK and Japan yet to score a point. GETDAZZLED beginning with the ball control. The first pass going on to Japan, going high, but is unable to return. What is going on with her?
I think it's safe to say that Brazil and Spain put a lot more practice into their dodgeball, but UK waiting patiently in the corner, holding this position. The triangular rally once again starting up between these three players. The ball speed beginning to increase. 80 meters, and with a ball Clowner could not return, UK moved up to the final round of this heat. A slow rally now beginning to manifest. Brazil with a bounced ball, a tricky ball to return, and a well-timed execution from GETDAZZLED. That's Brazil now 2 points away from their victory. Let's see if Team UK or Japan is able to show us something promising for this game mode for a chance at scoring any points. Well, that's Japan out for the round. Our hopes now lying with Team UK. It would appear that Japan and UK are trying an interesting strategy using the edge of the map, but it is most evidently not working out for them. Spain and Brazil once again. Spain serving a high ball. Brazil unable to keep up, deflecting early. And it's back and forth between Spain and Brazil on the scoreboard. Equalised once again at 3 points. 2 points remaining to take this one home.
Spain winning that last round starting with ball control, with the first pass to the rivaling Team Brazil. Now on to the other two teams. And what do you know? This is the longest four-way rally we've seen so far. Let's see how long it's going to last. Brazil unable to react in time for the fast ball from Spain. Japan deflecting too early, and that's the quickest round we've seen all day. Spain and UK. The high ball from Spain! The UK didn't stand a chance!
That was some corner shot table tennis move right there. That hit the edge of the island. I don't know how you're supposed to react to that. And with Spain only needing one more point to bring this one home, the other teams better look to pick up the pace here.
Clowner once again starting with ball control, and it is soon passed over to the UK. A high ball rally taking place with Dragon, using that dash to respond to the high ball. Japan using those bounces to give Spain a hard time, and it's looking like it's working. Rallied between Brazil and UK, back to Japan. The high balls are still coming through and lands behind Spain! The first generally promising dodgeball we're seeing from Team Japan. But there maybe comes a limit from the amount of times you should perform the same move, you know. It could probably get pretty predictable for the other players. But not for Dragon! I cannot believe that actually worked! Japan and Brazil heading into the final round of this heat. Is GETDAZZLED gonna fall for the bounce balls like Dragon did? It seems like Lilac has adopted a better playstyle now, integrated the bounce balls with her normal gameplay. Brazil with the wide ball. Lupa goes round Japan, but returns to Brazil. But this time it's too fast for Lilac to react. Japan put out a very promising fight this round. The most promising we've seen from them all game. But alas, GETDAZZLED scoring for Brazil. And once a diddly darn again, equalising the scores between Spain and Brazil. Only 1 point needed for the top teams to take home this event. And 5 needed for UK or Japan to make a miraculous comeback.
Let's see what they're able to pull out of the bag here. Brazil with ball control. Spain playing dangerously close now. GETDAZZLED could not possibly react. Japan shortly after dropping like a fly. UK is all that stops Spain from taking the victory, but in the blink of an eye it's over. Clowner wins the 2022 Genji Dodgeball event for Team Spain. Such a close battle between Spain and Brazil this entire match. Trading positions all the time and using sly tactics to outdo each other, but Spain crawling up this mountain of a game first.
The leaderboards. It's all tied up as that first place win here for Clowner, giving Spain 3 points to take them up to 9 overall. Brazil earning 2 up from 7, tied for first. And Japan and UK not earning a single heat victory that game mode, with their overall points still being yet again tied for third. Now on to the final event of the 2022 Overwatch Olympics. It's Lucio Racing time. Lucio Racing will be broken down into 3 separate races, each race granting points to a separate scoreboard which will be used to determine the final position of these players in this event. The first will be a circuit race on Temple of Anubis, starting from the attacker's spawn door. The checkpoint rule for this race is players must enter either side of the defending spawn room and exit out the other. Then make their way back to the start line once again to complete the race. So let's head over there now and let's see what these players are able to put down on the track.
The teams readying up here as that countdown is going to begin momentarily. And away we're off. The team's shooting off the start line, and that's Team Spain currently able to get ahead here. Getting caught on the wall, now Brazil in first place. Team UK not far behind, but getting caught up on the overhang there. That's Lilac 2 of Team Japan, unfortunately giving these two players a big time loss here as Brazil and Spain closing in on the first spawn door. Both opting for the right, heading around the checkpoint curve. The top teams now splitting directions. Spain going right, Brazil going mid. Spain currently in the lead, but Brazil going much faster on this straight. And with only a few corners remaining, it's looking like a secured win for Brazil, but following very closely after is Team Spain. Both Team UK and Japan, a similar story, UK taking the right side and Japan heading through the middle. Lilac heading over the top, both players in fact taking this faster route back to the spawn, and they are neck and neck right now. The final straight, but Dragon deciding to go wide and unfortunately costing a team the loss there. A close third and fourth finish for these two teams, but Japan coming out on top with the podium for this one. That's Brazil currently in the lead on Lucio Racing, followed by Spain, Japan in third, and Team UK in fourth place. Let's see if the leaderboards are going to change heading into race number 2 of 3.
The second is a sprint race taking place on Dorado. No there and back, no checkpoints. Races will start at the attacking spawn door and race all the way to the exit of the final defender's spawn. First one to cross the line will get the victory for this race. This is quite a long race despite it only being a sprint. The players are lining up here, and it's countdown. And they're off! The Brazilian team, the only team to head round the right, while the rest of them go left. And Team Japan able to keep up with the Spanish team here, but failing on that wall, and the gap now increases between first and second place. Brazil now taking second place after that inside line, but the gap between Spain and the rest of the teams are only increasing. UK heading through the bank and Clowner clearing that wall, and that's a secured victory for Spain. GETDAZZLED following not far behind but getting stuck on that wall, and that's second place for Brazil. The UK coming in from around the left side, but Japan storming through over the top, but getting caught in that doorway entrance, neck and neck. And it's too close to call! My goodness, what a close finish that was.
I think we're going to have to take a look at that finish line cam to see who actually came third out of the two. That's Spain crossing the line there. Brazil in second. Now let's see, the slowed down action replay of these two, that's the UK above and Japan below, crossing the line so close within each other, less than a tenth of a second in it, but the UK able to snag that third place finish by a hair. And Rob, now we really are in a sticky situation, aren't we? Coming up to the final race of the final event of the entire Olympics here. And not only are these players tied up in this event, but overall their points match this exact situation. This race is very important for these players to be on their A game here, as it means first place for Brazil or Spain and a podium finish for the United Kingdom or Japan. But one of these teams will not be sitting on the three-way podium of this year's Olympics. Rob, give us a breakdown of the final race of this series.
And the final and longest of the three races, the Hollywood circuit. Players will start against this wall and race until they reach the first checkpoint. Upon reaching either one of the spawn doors, each player must enter either side of the spawn safe zones and exit the other around the dividing structure in the middle. After exiting spawn, the racers must make their way back through the way they came to reach the finish line just before the wall and earn them points for their country. Like you said, this final race means everything for these teams, so let's see what sort of performance we're going to get. The teams are on the grid, the countdown begins, and the final race of this series is off. Brazil, wow! Brazil storming ahead of the opposition. Japan now in second, but not far behind is Team Spain, now battling it out for second place. Spain is currently in front, but the gap between Brazil is now increasing. The racers heading past the first point now, but Team UK straddling behind. An interesting strategy we're seeing here from them, clearing both the roofs. Now entering the checkpoint zone. That's Brazil in first, Spain passing through second, not long after, Japan then UK. On the final phase of the race now, Brazil still storming ahead, Spain taking the right route, but it didn't appear to be faster.
Team Japan losing a lot of space on second now as first and second fly ahead. Just the final straight remains for the end of this Olympics. GETDAZZLED significantly in the lead, but on the low ground, Clowner coming in fast! My goodness! Team Spain are your winners for the 2022 Olympic season! No words! Such a valiantly held first place for Brazil the entire race, and the walk of shame comes through from the UK, unfortunately finishing last for this one.
We have got to see an action replay on that finish line. That was so unbelievably close, and what a comeback from Clowner that was. He just came storming right on by over GETDAZZLED's head. What a picture perfect finish. Then it's a nobly fought third place finish for Japan, followed by a valiant attempt from Team UK, finishing fourth for this event. Now wrapping up the scores for this unbelievable tiebreaker, which are going to be the same as the Lucio Racing final positions as well. Spain in first with 12 points. Team Brazil a very close second with 11 points. Team Japan finishing with the bronze medal with 4. And Team UK finishing just below the podium with 3.
Check this out.
Oh, and we're getting a call now. Seems we have a quick little interview with none other than our winner here today of the Overwatch Olympics, Clowner.
Hola, hello, yes.
So Clowner, tell us what it's like to win your first Olympics here today.
Well, it's a miraculous feat for me and Team Spain today. Gold medalist team is a lot to carry on the shoulder, but very deserving of the win here today.
That's brilliant to hear. And what is Team Spain's thought on your 5-day trip to Chernobyl?
Chernobyl, I knew nothing of Chernobyl until just now. I did it for España and the fans at home that were rooting me on instead of Brazil. Muchísimas gracias a todos mis seguidores.
And finally, could you tell us what was going on that bumper cars round? You couldn't seem to pick up any points.
Well, yes, it was a targeted attack from the other countries. They knew to target the strongest team, the strongest player, the likes of Brazil, but like we saw in the racing, see, España always comes back faster than light, and now it is Spain who sings Feliz Navidad! Oh yes, Feliz!
Oh, alright, thank you very much. That was Clowner from Team Spain on the phone there. I'm sure he's going to enjoy a nice bath and touch some grass after his victory here today. And that just about concludes this miraculous event here today. Brought to you by your hosts, Rob and Will. We've been glad to bring you this epic game today.
I'm sure if they hold another Olympics same time next year, we'll be sure to get a call, so we'll be back. See you around, guys.